Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. We are from Group 9 and we will present to you about Triple Data Encryption Standard, Triple DES. For our group members, we have three members, which is me, NURUL, Farah, Aliya, BINTI, NORDIN, and ANITH, SYAFIQA, BINTI, SHAMSUL, BAHARI, and the last one is ANITH, NUR, JASLYN, BINTI, Muhammad, ARIFFIN. Okay, for definition, triple DES, also known as 3DES or TDES, is an improved version of the original DES encryption. It's a symmetric encryption algorithm that applies DES three times to each 64-bit block of data. Instead of using just one 56-bit key like DES, 3DES use two or three keys to increase security. It was created to fix weakness in DES without completely replacing it. DES became outdated as computers got faster and hackers got smarter. Okay, next for introduction. Triple DES 3DES is an upgraded of the original DES algorithm created to improve security as DES become outdated. It runs DES process three times using two or three keys 56-bit each, often in encrypt, decrypt, encrypt. This made encryption much stronger with an effective key length to up to 168 bits. 3DS was commonly used in financial systems and other applications to boost security without replacing DES system. However, 3DS is slow and less secure compared to modern standards, so it's mostly been replaced by AES. But still, some systems still use 3DS today for backward compatibility.
TripleDES gained popularity as an encryption and decryption method during the late 1990s and also early 2000s due to its increased resilience to brute force assaults and backward compatibility. TripleDES is still used in many legacy systems across industry, even though it is not that relevant because there are more introduction of more efficient algorithms today. This section will explain about the where the triple DES is applied. The first one is in financial transaction, which secures the transaction that take place, like online banking and credit card payment. Next is data protection, which is used to protect sensitive data which stored on computers, servers, and other electronic devices. Next is virtual private network, which secure the communication process between remote and locations. And lastly is authentication and digital signatures, which can be used in combination with cryptographic hash functions for generating digital signatures and verifying the authenticity of digital documents and messages.
Now let's look at the advantages of using triple DES as an encryption algorithm. First, triple DES offers enhanced security over the original DES. It performs the DES encryption three times, which significantly increases resistance to brute force attacks. This helped to overcome the major limitation of DES, which was its short 56-bit key length. Next, TripleDES is backward compatible with systems that were originally built for DES. This made it easier for organizations to upgrade their encryption without replacing their entire legacy systems. It was especially helpful during the transition from DES to AES. TripleDES is also part of several official standards such as FIPS 46-3. Because of this, it became widely accepted in industries like banking, email security, and VPNs. Its popularity also means there are many libraries and tools available to support it. Finally, TripleDES is easy to implement, especially for developers already familiar with DES. It uses the same basic structure, and it's supported by standard APIs like the Java cryptography extension, making integration into software much easier. Now let's take a look at some of the key disadvantages of the triple DES encryption algorithm. One of the main weaknesses of triple DES is its slow performance. Since it applies the DES encryption three times, it's much slower than modern algorithms like AES. This makes triple DES less suitable for performance-sensitive applications or systems with limited processing power. Triple DES uses either two or three separate keys. When using three keys, the total key length becomes 168 bits. Managing and securely distributing multiple keys adds more complexity to the key management system. Even when only two keys are used, handling them securely is still a challenge. TripleDES uses a 64-bit block size, which is considered small by modern cryptographic standards. This smaller block size makes it more vulnerable to certain types of attacks, such as block collision attacks, especially when large amounts of data are being encrypted. Finally, TripleDES has been officially deprecated by NIST for new applications. Due to its older design and slower speed, it's now being replaced by stronger and more efficient algorithms like AES. This means it's no longer recommended for use in modern security systems. Now, let me explain how TripleDES works in general and why it was developed. TripleDES or Triple Data Encryption Standard is a symmetric key block cipher. It was introduced as an improvement to the original DES, which had become vulnerable due to its short key length of 56 bits. Instead of designing a brand new algorithm, Triple DES extends the life of DES by applying the encryption process three times to each block of data. TripleDES uses either two or three keys. The encryption process follows a structure called EDE, which stands for Encrypt, Decrypt, and Encrypt. First, the data encrypted with key 1, then decrypted with key 2, and finally encrypted again with key 3. If only two keys are used, the first and third keys are the same. This triple-layer process greatly increases security compared to the two single DES, making it much harder to break with brute force attacks. At the same time, it still maintains compatibility with existing DES systems, which made it easier for companies to upgrade their security without changing all their infrastructure.
Okay, next for algorithm pseudocode, this program is a simple triple DES encryption and decryption tool that runs in a loop, allowing users to choose between encrypting text, decrypting encrypted text, or exiting the program. When the user selects encryption, they are asked to enter a plain text message and a key. The program then generates a random 8-byte IV, encrypts the message using the triple DES algorithm in CBC mode with PKCS5 padding and will display the result. The result will be displayed in base64 format. If the user chooses decryption, they will input the encrypted text and IV in the format ciphertext along with the key. The program decodes the base64 values, decrypts the ciphertext using the same algorithm and key, and this and will display the original message. The encryption and decryption process use a securely generated key derived from the user's input by hashing it with SHA-256 and taking the first 24 bytes for use in the triple DES. Okay, next for mathematical representation. TripleDES, which is also known as 3DES, is an improved version of the original DES encryptions. It works by applying the DES algorithm three times in a specific order. First, it will encrypt the data with the first key, then it decrypts the data with the second key, and it finally encrypts again with a third key. This is known as the encrypt, decrypt, encrypt, or we call it as EDE method. To decrypt, the process is simply reverse. TripleDES use three keys, and these are three keying options. The first is the most secure, where all the three keys are different. The second one, options, use the same key for the first and third steps, which provides a good balanced security and performance. The third options use the same key for all three steps, which is basically the same as using regular DES, and the third option is not recommended. This method allows flexibility and stronger protection, especially when the keys are unique.
Now I'll explain how the triple DES algorithm is implemented in our system step by step. Triple DES is implemented using DES triple algorithm in CBC mode with PKC as 5 padding. The application is a menu-driven console program that allows users to either encrypt or decrypt messages by entering the required input values such as plaintext, ciphertext, and a secret key. When the user chooses to encrypt, the program first asks for plaintext and a key. The key is not used directly, instead, it is hashed using the SHA-256 algorithm to ensure strong and consistent formatting. From the hash, the first 24 bytes are extracted to create a 192-bit key suitable for TripleDES. An 8-byte random initialization vector or IV is also generated to increase security. The cipher is then initialized in encryption mode using the key and IV. The plaintext is encrypted, and both the IV and ciphertext are encoded using base 64. These two values are then combined using a colon separator and shown to the user. To decrypt a message, um, the user inputs the base 64 encoded string in the format IV, ciphertext, and the same original key. The system separates and decodes the IV and ciphertext. The key is hashed again using SHA-256 trimmed by 24 bytes and using to initialize the cipher in decryption mode. The ciphertext is then decrypted back into plaintext and displayed. This system uses Java's built-in cryptographic libraries, which provide a secure and stable way to handle encryption and decryption. CBC mode ensures that the same plaintext produces different ciphertext if the IV is different. PKC S5 padding allows messages of various lengths to be processed, and using SHA-256 for key generation adds an extra layer of security. So in summary, this algorithm demonstrates how TripleDES can be securely implemented in Java using strong cryptographic principles such as key hashing, IV generation, and block cipher modes.
Triple Data Encryption Standard, or Triple DES, is a symmetric algorithm that enhances the original DES by applying it three times to each data block. This strengthens the data security by using either two or three separate keys. Implementation of Triple DES in Java using the built-in Java X crypto package. Following are the codes where the triple DES is implemented in Java. So this is the example of input and output from the implementation of Java code, where the user can choose whether they want to encrypt or decrypt the text. and then the code will do its job to encrypt the text, and they have to enter the encryption key, which requires minimum 8 characters, and then the encryption will be successful, and then it will encrypt from the original text, and then the encrypted text will be needed next when the user wanted to decrypt the text again. Okay, so now I will explain the implementation of Java. So the given code is the Java program uses scanner to read the user input and a loop to keep the program running until the user chooses to exit. The user can choose if they want to encrypt or decrypt the text. Okay, for this code, the code will ask the user to enter the plain text and get encryption from the user. Then we'll generate random IV, which is initialization vector to using in the TripleDES. This code will take the plain text, secrets key, and also IV, and then generate a proper TripleDES key using the generate key method, and set up the cipher for encryption mode. Next, it will encrypt the text and returns the encrypted bytes. Okay, for the decrypt method, it works similar to the encryption method but in reverse. It sets the cipher in the decryption mode and then converts the encrypted bytes back into the original string. If the key inputs is wrong, it shows an error message. Okay, next is the generate key method. This method turns the user's key, which is a string, into a valid 24-byte TripleDES key. It first hashes the key using SHA256 for security, and then it copies the first 24 bytes into a new array. If the key is too short, it fills the rest using the repeated bytes. Finally, it returns a secret key object for use in encryption and decryption.
For conclusion, TripleDES is an enhanced version of DES by using an encrypt, decrypt, encrypt process. And TripleDES uses 2 or 3 keys to increase security and maintains compatibility with older DES systems. It is wide in financial sectors and secure communication. It faces limitation, slow performance and complex key management, small 64-bit block size, and gradually replaced by advanced encryption standard AES. But TripleDES is still used in legacy system and backward compatibility. And that's us. Thank you.